My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC picks and DraftKings lineups run by professional fighters and MMA insiders. Every week, I join Nick Newell, professional fighter, professional model, and ESPN top 10 guest, along with Dan Kramer, UFC fighter, Bellator fighter, Ultimate Fighter alumni, and Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. And we break down every single fight, the betting odds, the DraftKings picks, and we set you up for success.
So that was an interesting night of fights. 2 no contests. The rest of the fights pretty much all stoppages. I think we saw 1 or 2 decisions. So real hit or miss. I definitely enjoyed the fights. They were a ton of fun, but there's nothing less satisfying than a no contest. Nobody won. That's brutal. What I will say is I would prefer a no contest over a disqualification for 2 reasons. One, when it's accidental like that and it's not 100% intentional and there's no malintent, at least somebody doesn't leave the loser. And 2, when we talk about our bets, you get your money back with a no contest. So we had I had Leon Edwards in a parlay. I was ready to go. That was the last fight, the last leg of that parlay, and that was mine to have. And there was a no contest. If that was a DQ, I would have lost that parlay. But because it's a no contest, it's a push. It's like that fight never happened. There is no declared winner. There is no outcome. Therefore, the parlay is off. So I at least got to keep my money. So I'll take that. It's better than losing it. Anybody last week that bet on Jan, that was a DQ. That money's gone. This week, you bet on Eric Anders, you bet on Leon Edwards, you keep your money. You don't win the bet, you don't lose the bet, but you keep your money. So I'll take that all day. I'd rather keep my money than lose my money. We had a bunch of exciting fights. I'm just going to touch on a few. So this is the order of operation here. I'm going to touch on some fights. We'll go through the fan comments, and then we'll touch the DraftKings League. You guys did really well this week, especially with the disaster that was 2 no contests. So as far as the fights are concerned, Nasrat Haqparast was everything everybody expected him to be. He looked fantastic. He's super young, but he looked fantastic. He had the composure of a veteran. He lost that first round. He came out, and his stand-up is phenomenal. His takedown defense is phenomenal. And good for Garcia for taking that fight on short notice. He didn't have much to lose. He looked great. He did better than a lot of people thought he would do. A, he has a great chin, and B, he won a round. So good for him. He'll be back. Nasrat is the real deal. He could potentially be a future champion. And I hope he fights more, because those videos, anytime we do a video about Nasrat, the views are through the roof. You people love him. The Middle Easterners come out, support their people, and I really appreciate that. Angela Hill, she was as dominant as we thought she would be, but as weird as this is going to sound, she didn't look great. Like, she was dominant, meaning at no point was she in any danger in that entire fight. But I didn't leave that being like, wow, Angela Hill's the real deal. She'll be contending soon, because she won't be. I think she's going to lose the big ones and continue to win the small ones like this. So, she didn't even score a ton of points in DraftKings. I think it was 70 something. So that's not nothing. But she was also $9,400, and I expected much more volume out of her. So I'll continue to watch her. I'll continue to pick her in these sort of lower tier level fights, but I don't see her beating anybody in the top 10 anytime soon. The lock of the week, Jacob's lock of the week. I'm not going to speak for Jacob, but he did send me this video in the middle of the night. So take a look.
To read this. My name is Jacob. I'm an analyst for We Want Picks. Recently, I have been making locks of the week, which I felt were in the best interest of myself, and others. And my last one is the lock of the week. Moises against Hernandez. I got Kyler Phillips, lock of the week over Song Young Dong. I haven't looked at any Mallory Martin tape because I knew once you beat Ribas, you become my queen. You're in my lineup. Lock of the week, I'll say it right now. Pollyanna is my girl. The next is the lock of the week. Clay Guida gets it done. Recently, those locks of the week have been doing very well. A great success. This week, I got greedy. I went for a pick. That I shouldn't have. Marcelo Rojo, you deceived me. You put up a great fight, but it wasn't enough. And as much as this pains me to say, today, March 13th, the streak is over. The lock of the week will continue. That I can be sure. But it will be made with more precision and analytical value than ever before. I am sorry to the people that I hate, that I hurt, to Angelo, to Dan, and to Nick. I let you down.
All kidding aside, so the lock of the week started as sort of, Jacob. Okay. The channel is two professional fighters in Dan and Nick, me, who's managed fighters for 15 years, and then Jacob, who's just our buddy. He's fun. He's funny. He watches fights. He's a genuine fan. He's basically a normal fan, right? He has opinions. He watches the fights, but he's never actually trained. He's not around it. He hasn't lived this life, but he loves the fights. So we invited him to join the podcast, and he's a ton of fun. We love having him. You guys seem to love having him. And he started the whole lock of the week thing, very excited and animated. And, if you don't pick this guy, you're an idiot type stuff. And it started as a joke, if you will. He was serious, but it started as a very fun thing to do. And then all of a sudden he hit 5 in a row. And now it's like, whoa, hold on. Maybe he has some Rain Man-esque insight into these fights that we don't see, because his lock of the week is always a big underdog. So when he hit 5 big underdogs in a row like that, 2 of which nobody else had winning, then we were like, well, this might be the real deal. This week, he may have overreached a little bit, but in his defense, Rojo looked pretty good. I have the scorecard up now. He won that first round. That second round was super close, and he basically died in the third. I mean, he's gone up a weight class here, I believe. So the weight caught up to him. He got exhausted. He got beat up. But that was a very close fight until the stoppage. He could have won it. The announcers were saying that this may be 2-0 for Rojo going into the third. So at the end of the day, the streak comes to an end. But we appreciate Jacob's excitement. And if it's any consolation, he is dead serious, meaning if you watch the betting breakdown, he bet his actual money on Rojo to win. He put Rojo in his DraftKings lineups. So it's not as if he's just out here, oh, do this, I'm fun and exciting, and then doesn't put his money where his mouth is. He literally does. So either way, that streak came to an end, but he's now 5-1 in 6 weeks. So we'll see what happens next week. We'll see how humbled he's been after this week. Then we have Ronnie Yaha. Great. That went exactly as expected. I love it. I bet second round submission. We got the second round submission. Watch the betting video, because I also bet first round submission to sort of hedge that. Jacob bet first, second, and third. So we all had our Ronnie Yaha play, because the odds were so crazy for him to win, but we knew he was going to win by submission. So you sort of play that game to get the odds in your favor. So I hit that at plus 450. Jacob hit it at plus 500 because he took the bet earlier in the week. So Ronnie Yaha looked great. I saw a lot of other, YouTube pick'em type channels out there dogging him for his cardio. He's old. He's going to slow down. I don't know where that was coming from. Obviously in his last fight, he did have some cardio issues, but he was stuck in Brazil. Then he's finally back training, full camp, doing everything he's supposed to do. So I can only assume when he was stuck in Brazil for his last fight, he didn't get his training in. But cardio was not an issue in the past. So to take that one fight for a guy that's had 37 fights and say cardio is going to be an issue was a bit bizarre to me. But We picked him. We picked a submission, and we bet on the submission in the second round, and we all hit that, which was great. Eric Anders. He was my underdog pick. He was in my lineup, and he did the most ridiculous illegal knee. I didn't understand it. It wasn't as bad as the Peter Yan one, but he hesitated. It wasn't even in a scramble. It's not like they were scrambling, and he's throwing the knee, and he's coming up a little bit and hit him. He had him in that position, was dominating the fight, took his time, thought about it, still threw the knee. And after everything that happened last weekend, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. So I believe the stoppage was correct, meaning I don't think he should have continued. It just sucks because I had Eric Anders in my lineup. He scored 60 points in less than one round because he had a knockdown, takedowns. He scored a ton of points in less than one round. I can only imagine he was going to get 120, 130 points. What I will say, any other referee stops that fight earlier. Herb Dean will let you die. He's an old school ref. And actually, almost since the Ben Askren fight too, Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler, which people argued was an early stoppage, he's gone the other way. He'll let you die until you are 100% out. Keep fighting. So I thought they should have stopped it a little earlier. The no contest sucks. I didn't get any bet money on Eric Anders as an underdog, but he still somehow scored me a good amount of DraftKings points. And, it is what it is. So that does suck. Mateus Nicolau. I had him in my lineup. I thought he was going to win. Mattel Kopp Kopp just didn't look great in his last fight, did nothing. And honestly, in this fight, he kind of did nothing too. And then he really picked it up. So I thought first round was Mateus. Second round was Kopp. Third round was Kopp. That was a bad decision. I thought, I don't know how you watched that third round and thought, Nicolau won. But he did. The judges did. And I'm not complaining. He was in my lineup, so I'm not going to complain about that. So I'll take that win all day. That was a bad stop or a bad decision. Davey Grant. If you watch our individual breakdown videos, I said, I have Davey Grant in my lineup. I think he's a live underdog. He's tough as hell. He's dirt cheap, so I can afford some of these huge favorites. And even if he loses, he's not going to get stopped. And they made fun of me. They bullied me. Check this out. Yeah, and it's it is a tricky fight. These odds are definitely farther apart than they should be. Davey Grant's a good fighter. I have him in my DraftKings lineup right now, but that was mostly because at $6,900, that frees up a lot of money for some other people. And I don't see him getting finished. I hope he wins. I think he has the ability to win. I think he's very tough. He's coming off a really nice KO win, and he won't get stopped.
I don't know how to put this nicely. I agree with a couple of things you said, but overall, I disagree with the pick.
We just disagree on how far apart these two guys are.
Yeah. So, I think Martinez is on a different level.
So Jacob, you were nodding pretty furiously.
You guys aren't disagreeing, Angelo. You're just flat wrong. Let's do it about that.
So the moral of the story is, don't let your friends bully you out of your picks. I had that. He was in my lineup. I had that pick. I picked it. And then they were so positive that I was wrong. I scared myself. I was like, maybe I missed something. But I didn't. Should have kept in my lineup. I didn't. Don't let your friends bully you out of your good picks. And then finally, the main event, Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad. Started off as a great fight. I was enjoying it. Leon Edwards looked good. He had a little bit of rust there, but he looked good. He looked like, okay, that layoff wasn't, didn't take too much out of him. And Belal Muhammad looked good too. We were very worried about his leg. If you rewatch the fight, he was super light on that leg, really light on that leg. So I think he was worried about it. I think he's been nursing it. He got pieced up 5,000 times in his last fight on that leg, which is only a month ago. But overall, it was a pretty good fight until the eye poke. In no world should Belal Muhammad have continued. That was bad. That was a bad eye poke. There's a million images out there of what that eye looks like now. and they're all bad. So that sucked. I feel bad for the guy. He was obviously devastated. You could see that visually, but he got a main event. He looked good. He's riding that momentum. And once that eye heals up, hopefully it's just a really bad poke and some scratched cornea. There's nothing detached. Hopefully it's not actual damage. And it's more of some discomfort for a little while. He can heal up and come back. I don't think they should run that fight back. Maybe they should. I don't know, but I don't think so. Right. Belal Muhammad's like number 13 in the division. He took that fight on short notice, did them a favor. And I actually think the UFC should do him a favor. Give Leon Edwards a top 5 guy. Give Belal Muhammad, a higher ranked opponent that he could definitely win and help build him up. He helped you out. You should help him out. If you run that back, Leon Edwards is going to win that fight. And then, what does that get Belal Muhammad, right? So let's talk about the comments this week. We had a ton of comments. The channel, I keep mentioning this, it's growing like crazy. I cannot tell you how much we all appreciate that. The 4 of us are in this together. I seem to be the lead here because I do sort of the officiating, and I'm the host, if you will. But we're all in this together, all 4 of us, and we genuinely appreciate the fan engagement, the comments. There's always going to be haters, especially when we're out there publicly telling people who we think is going to win the fight. There's always somebody that comes back 2 seconds after the fight. Oh, you were wrong. Look how stupid you are. But listen, we're using insight. Dan is using firsthand knowledge. Nick is using firsthand knowledge. I'm using experience and insight into what I've seen as a manager. Jacob's doing his research. We're going to get some wrong. We're not Marty McFly. I didn't come back in time with an almanac and know every single fight that's going to happen. So we're going to get some wrong. But I'll tell you right now, you want to compare our picks to other people? We're very right. Especially you start totaling up. A lot of other people around 500, we're doing much better than that. And a lot of it is just the experience. You can't beat that experience. And half the times, if you watch those videos, I say, Nick, you've trained with so-and-so. Dan, you and Thiago Santos were training partners forever. What are your thoughts? And so they can pull off literal firsthand knowledge. I know this guy, I train with this guy, or I train with both of these people, but also I've watched the tape. I see the mistakes he makes. I see what he does well, etc. Anyway, fan comments, fan engagement this week were fantastic. So let me hit a few. I can't possibly hit them all. There was literally over 1,000. So Chris Jory said, lock of the week. Pay attention, guys. LOL. Man, that's going to make that Rojo fight that much more fun. I will shit if he gets another one. LMAO. I've got 3 cards to play, split 3 different ways. One of them looks like Jacob's lineup. So we talked about the lock of the week. Chris, thank you for the comment, the support. I think, you get it. You knew that was a big pick, a big underdog pick. And the most important part about this comment is, man, that's going to make that Rojo fight that much more fun. That's exactly what it did. I've never been more glued to some nonsense undercard fight because of all the hype that Jacob brought to it. Next up, we have Ryan Schmidt. I don't agree with all the picks, but I still gave the video a like because I come with respect for what y'all do here, trying to help the people. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Genuinely appreciate that. We spend time. This takes a lot of time and effort, and it is Saturday morning. My kids are running around in the other room, and my wife is just giving me a filthy look like, what are you doing? So this takes time. All of us invest actual hours of our lives to do this. And obviously the hope is that we'll make some money eventually, but right now we're not, right? We're doing this. We're hoping to build it. We enjoy it. It is a hobby. It's fun for us. So I appreciate that you respect the time and effort we put into this. Even if you disagree with the picks, you didn't specify which one. So I don't know if you were right or we were right, but I appreciate the like. I appreciate the watch. And that's what this is all about. MMA should be, very camaraderie based. It's still sort of a niche sport. We all love it. We're all fans. We should all be able to get along. Then Brittany Jablanka posted this morning. She had 641 points with her lineup, and that is amazing. So I have on the screen the pick. She had Nicolau. That was a gift. I also had that gift. Jourdain. Ige. How about that Ige knockout? That one, we didn't see that coming. Everybody saw it was not unreasonable that he was going to get a knockout. We thought that was going to be a drag him out war of a fight. Those two were so evenly matched. So literally the first punch with the knockout, that was shocking. Yaha, talked about that. Davey Grant, talked about that pick, and Semmelsberger. And if you watch the breakdown video, Dan was pretty high on Semmelsberger, saying these young up-and-comers improve at such an incredible rate that it's hard to pick against them, even if they're overmatched or even if in their last fight they didn't look fantastic. They improve just leaps and bounds in each fight. And Dan knows that because he's been an American top team for 15 years, 10 years, whatever it is. And he's seen those guys like a Kobe Covington, who was Dan's training partner for a while, come in, be 100% pure wrestler, and then just months later put it all together and look fantastic. And the rest of the comment was the 641 points got first place. Second place was only 0.11 points below, and she won $4,000. Great job. Great job. That is awesome. That is awesome. Then finally, thanks, guys. I've been watching you with a few other channels for 2 months. Keep up the good work. Well, you're welcome, and I hope we played a small part in that money. And the final comment is Chris Jory again. I've been playing 3 cards, and I try to touch a little of each fight and keep it diversified. I've also been doing a small amount of captain games. You guys should throw a couple of picks for those in future videos. I think it would be popular because it's all of the main card only, so it's only good for casuals, especially now that DraftKings has the contract with UFC. So captain's mode is where you can pick one fighter and they score at 1.5 times the points. So if they were going to score 1 point, they now score 1.5 points. So it adds a little extra element of strategy because you and I could have the exact same lineup, but I could have somebody in the captain spot that scores more than who you have in your captain spot. So it adds a little extra oomph. It's a little trickier. It's a little more fun. And I appreciate that comment, that feedback. So we will start to talk about captain's mode and who we would put in that captain spot. So when we do our breakdowns, if I were doing a captain mode contest, I think so-and-so should be in that slot. So we'll add that. If anybody else has any comments or I'd love to see this, I'd love to see that, I'd appreciate more of this, let us know. We're here. We're learning as we go. Each week there's improvements. If you go back and watch the first one we did, it looked like crap. It was us looking at the SureDog page, just talking over it. It just didn't look great. Our picks were fantastic, but it looked awful. So we're trying to make a better experience here. I watch everybody else just like you guys do. A couple of people have really nice, pretty graphics, do their job, have some nice analytics, but there's people that have 20,000 subscribers that just do what I'm doing right now is look at the screen and just talk to you for 45 minutes, no graphics. And they're just reading what's on Tapology. I don't understand how those videos do so well, but we're here. We're trying to improve it. We're trying to add, an element of fun and excitement with what Jacob does. We're trying to add a completely different level of analysis because we have professional fighters making these picks. And we're trying to make it pretty. Jacob does the graphics too, and they all look fantastic in my opinion. So again, thank you for the comments. Thank you for the feedback. Great week, ton of engagement. We'll be back next week. So now let's talk about the DraftKings League. As some of you know, we have a DraftKings fan league. It is completely free to join. We're putting up free contests, and we're going to start handing out gift cards. This week, we had how many entrants? We had tied for 30. So that's me. I don't actually enter a lineup into this. I just create the contest for you guys. So we had 31 people join this week. We're going to give out a gift card. Okay. So the whole point of this is we do DraftKings. We love DraftKings and we want you to do it. We want you to love it. We want you to experience it. I'm telling you right now, you will never enjoy fights more than if you have a DraftKings fantasy lineup because you are screaming at the TV for people you've never heard of rooting for them to win. So let's look at this league. You guys did pretty well. So first place is Jay Young 3. Jay Young 3 scored 450 points. And honestly, a week like this with 2 no contests, that's a good amount of points. So Jay Young, reach out to us, comment down below, or you can email me. It's in the About Us page. There's an email address there. Email me and we'll get you a $25 DraftKings gift card. And we're going to start doing that every week. So anyway, your lineup looked pretty good. So Leon Edwards screwed you. 8.37 points. That's nothing, right? But it's a no contest. Nothing you can do about that. Before that fight, you had 4 winners. So you were well on your way to 5 winners. The Nicolau, that was a gift. I also had that gift. Ryan Span, Looked great against Misha Serkinov. You did not have JJ Aldridge, so there's your loss there. The Ronnie Yaha and Semmelsberger look fantastic. So solid lineup. The no contest screwed you, and I imagine everybody in here has some form of a no contest. Yeah, Eric Anders, no decision. So look at second place, La Puzza. You had Nicolau again, gift. Ryan Spann, Ige. Ige was worth the money. 100% was that guy worth the money. Obviously, 125 points. He got that extra point bonus. So DraftKings now has a knockout in under 1 minute, gets extra points. So that's how he scored so many. Eric Anders, this is what we're talking about. I said 60 before. 50 points he scored in less than one round, and he didn't win. There was a no contest. So there's no win points anywhere. So that's how dominant that was. He was well on his way to a ton of points, and he was a big underdog and dirt cheap at $7,300. You went with Martinez over Grant, so that's a loss there. And then you went with Hackparast over Garcia. This one was disappointing. The fight was good. I watched the fight saying, wow, Hackparast is the real deal. But the points were disappointing. 70 at $9,400. So 70 points is great. It's not nothing. But Nicolau scored 70 points at $7,500. At $9,400, I want 100 points. I want a stoppage. And we thought there would be a stoppage there. And I actually switched Angela Hill for Hackparast because I thought he was more live for a stoppage than Angela Hill was. And he was, but Garcia's tough as hell. What a chin that guy has. Anyway, solid lineup. You had a loss and a no decision. So you and the first place person both had a loss and no decision. The difference is what your winners look like. And, honestly, if Hackparast scored a few more points, you take first place. And we'll look at third place very quickly. B.B. Burris. So you had 2 no decisions. So you technically didn't lose a fight, especially if these weren't no decisions. You would have had a 6-0 perfect lineup because Leon Edwards wasn't losing that fight. Eric Anders should have been a stoppage in his direction already. So you had some solid picks. Angela Hill, 76 points. Danny Ige, 125. Ryan Spann, 106. And Nicolau, 70. You should have been in first place, but those no decisions sort of screwed you. Anyway, guys, we appreciate the view. We appreciate the watch. Subscribe if you haven't. Comment how you did, how you're doing, what else you would like to see, if anything. And again, we are giving away gift cards. Join the league. It's in the description below. Every week I'll add a contest. Join that contest. If you guys want me to add money league contests, let me know. I'm doing free ones because we'll give out a gift card. And we really want people to learn and enjoy and experience DraftKings. And then, maybe down the line when you guys are absolutely killing it, which you are, we'll switch it up a bit. But J Young 3, reach out. We've got a gift card for you. Appreciate it. Thank you all very, very much. Before you go, check out the description below. In there, we have links to our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, and more importantly, to our DraftKings League. Check out the league, join the league, participate in the contests, and as we get going and as you start winning, we're going to start handing out gift cards and participating and doing things like that. So check those out. Every week, there are drops on every fight card. So make sure you check out this channel and our social media on Saturday before the fights start so that you have our most updated lineups and picks.